We are back again with another episode of the Entertainment Alert podcast. It's been an interesting past 2 weeks. We haven't been on for a week. We skipped a week. We apologize for that. But you know, it's very weird having to watch television and not being able to talk about certain things because you want to save them for the podcast, right? I was watching the Mummy Club finale, and there's a lot that I wanted to say about it. I was like, no, let me just save it for the podcast. So how you doing, bruh?
I'm great, and you?
Kesha, how have you been?
Great.
What's happening? What's happening in your life?
Nothing much.
Yeah.
The usual same. Yeah.
I saw you at the Netflix that you attended. Was that like your first big industry event, or had you been to an event similar to that before?
I've done influencer events.
Okay.
Obviously, they had celebs and stuff like that, but that one was like on a larger scale. Definitely. Yeah. I mean, almost all the big stars in South Africa were there.
Yeah.
I mean, Tati Mushesh, Ramichweni. Earlier on, apparently Connie Ferguson was there, but I didn't actually see her.
Yeah.
I got there late, but it was actually a fun event. It was fun just celebrating all these shows that are nominated for SAFTAs.
Yeah.
It was one of those fun events that you actually enjoyed being at. Yeah.
And wasn't it weird that the people that you tweet about and whatever, are now suddenly in the same room with you?
Not really. But the most person was like really welcoming was Ferry Jelle. I mean, it was actually great actually meeting her. She's as fun and as what is it? What do they call it? Charismatic. I don't know. Yeah, as she is on TV. She's actually that fun person.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was actually fun meeting. I mean, I met a lot of chatter people.
Yeah.
I'm glad they don't hate me with some of the criticism. But yeah.
No, look. I like Teta. Somebody tweeted me something weird the other day. Is Teta not paying you anymore? Why you? I think I was praising somebody else. I was praising Bent Onion on being, the best at doing dramedy in the country. Somebody was like, "Is Teta not paying you anymore? Why you not?" I'm on some like, what the hell are you talking about? You get what I'm saying?
Dude, comedy.
Yeah, but besides that, the fact that I always say to people that if I don't talk about your show or what you're doing, whether I'm saying a good thing or a bad thing, if I'm not talking about it, it means that, you're not making enough waves for me to notice you.
Yeah.
When I talk about you, whether I'm giving you a bad review or I'm giving you a critique or whatever, or I'm praising you, then it means that I notice you. So I'm a consumer of your content and I'm a fan of your content. So I love the Twitter people. They never take it personally. I mean, like, don't worry, they're good people.
Yeah,
even if you,
awesome.
even if you don't like any of their show or you have a problem with whatever it is that it's happening, whatever, they understand. It's not a personal attack on them or their talent, whatever. It's about the work. But yeah, let's talk about the Mummy Club because that's very important. The final episode just aired. Just dropped this Tuesday. Oh my God. Okay, let me start. Okay, I've had a problem with this season from first episode, right? My biggest problem being the fact that I don't know what the director or what the constraints are. Was it financial constraints or whatever? I just did not understand why every time these women would go to events, every time these women would do parties, it's always just them. It just did not seem real. It just did not make it realistic for me as a viewer. Imagine if they could even get extras. You think the Americans don't put extras in these restaurants? Yeah. They do. You know what I mean? So I've always had a problem with that. But what the nail on the coffin for me with the finale episode in that regard is the fact that the entire episode, they're making a big deal about the fact that they are stuck in a boat. They're stuck in this boat. Can you please get me out of this boat? Oh, Mrs. Pumps, oh my God, I want to leave this boat, whatever. Did you notice that boat was not moving?
Actually, I didn't notice now that you mentioned it.
It was freaking dogged. It was not moving. So at any time, though, anybody on that boat could have just walked out of that boat. You get what I'm saying? And I'm like, what the hell? And that's why you didn't even have exterior shots. Like when people are in a boat, you'd have, establishing shots, as exterior shot. You didn't get that. You're only getting interior shots.
We only just saw them going to the place.
Yes, that's the thing. Simply because that boat was not moving. It was just in one place. And if a boat is not moving, what does that tell you? It's docked. You get what I'm saying? So I was like, what the hell? I mean, it's the little things like that for me that irritates me when it comes to production. This is something that somebody should have picked it up. This is something that your audience is not stupid. We're going to pick this up. But yeah, anyway.
It reminds me of this hilarious scene on Real Housewives of Joburg.
Yeah.
So there's this, what's the name? It's she's this Indian lady who was actually on the previous season of Real Housewives of Joburg.
Yeah.
So she actually came back as like a friend of the show.
Yeah.
So they actually weren't as if like they had gotten off like a private jet or something. And it was not moving. So literally Joy made like a whole fun commentary about it. It's like people do things for social media and stuff like that. Now that you mention it, it's actually similar to that.
Yeah. Go back and watch the episode. Now that I've mentioned it, go watch it again, guys. You'll see that boat was docked. It was not going anywhere. So if it's docked, it means that those ladies could have left at any time. So that killed the whole vibe for me because I'm like, okay, which means that this whole thing, it's fake.
It's scripted.
You know, it's fake. They're not really angry and whatever. In terms of characters, though, I don't know if this is a good thing for her or a bad thing, but Mrs. Mobs did not come off good in this finale episode. She came off as a mean girl. She came off as not nice. Oh, I know you love her, but yeah, go ahead. I know you're gonna attack Nunu Rai. Go ahead.
Yeah, look, to be honest, I don't really pay much attention to reality show as to what happens. Obviously, reality show is reality show to a certain extent. Yes. Some things are scripted or some things are suggested so that they can actually happen. With the finale, there's a lot that was going on. And also there's this very, this issue between Happy and Oratile is very deep. Like, I thought maybe...
But don't you feel like they're cheating it though? Because it's deep, but we don't know what it is.
Look, I think it has to do a lot more with just whatever fight they had. Or Rati saying certain things about Happy or Happy saying...
But Rati only said one thing, cloud chaser.
Yeah, but what did she mean when she said you keeping quiet because you know I have some incriminating things about you?
Exactly, that's what annoys me because
I think it definitely has to do with the Thabo Bester case. I think Happy maybe was not honest enough about what was happening. Maybe she's not telling us the whole story, but I do get it. I mean, she fears that what if people say this? What if I actually get into a lot of trouble because of that?
Yeah.
It's a lot deeper. Nunu Rai was like arguing about the same thing the entire episode, and it was not really necessary. And the fact that she was actually arguing about Happy saying that your friend so actually flew from Zim just for this. It's like, what did you mean by that? The whole thing, the argument was, I don't know, Nunu Rai holds a lot of grudges. I don't know why.
No, but also look, and I know it's gonna sound like I'm defending her, and I hate this because when I watch television, it's annoying because I look at production and because I feel these ladies were briefed you're gonna go to the boat and confront each other about what happened the other day, right?
Yeah,
that's a thing, right? Because if you look at the car conversations, Mrs. Mobs and Happy were prepared to go there and actually do something or say something, but as soon as they got onto the boat, they were not saying ish. You understand?
I was disappointed.
So I'm thinking there, I'm sitting there, maybe the producers told her, this is going to be like a confrontation and whatever. And then they are not giving her anything. And then she keeps on trying to push to get them to give her something, to do something, say something. And they were not. And for me, that's why I feel like it seemed like she was doing too much. But if you think about it in the way that I've just explained, these girls were told to do something when they get there and they just didn't. So you're left with a situation where now you've got Mrs. Mancha trying to play the whatever, and then she gets attacked and then she stops. Then who else was going to carry that whole conversation?
Nobody else.
You understand?
Yeah.
It was going to be Nunu Rai. There, Mrs. Mobs tried to create something with Sejo, Mrs. Mancha, but it didn't go anywhere because I don't think...
They've been fighting.
Yeah.
Remember that scene when she actually threw the glass off the table?
Yeah.
They actually forgave each other a few minutes later and started talking as if like nothing happened.
But I also feel like Mrs. Mobs doesn't want to go too far with Sejo.
What do you mean?
Because they know each other. Of all the ladies in that group, they've known each other outside of the show.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So she doesn't want to go too far because I feel like it's going to be that situation where we know too much about each other to kind of
and also they don't want to ruin that relationship.
Exactly. Also. So I don't know. So just to wrap it up, season out of 10, how much do you give it? Okay, let's put it this way. Okay, entertainment wise, 1 to 10.
seven and a half.
Entertainment wise.
Yeah.
Okay, production wise, 1 to 10.
They could do it with a lot of improvement. So 6.5.
Okay, cool. Mena, it's 4-5.
What? The whole thing about the boat and whatever.
Yeah, but no, besides that, I just feel production wise, and when I say production, I'm not just talking about how it looks. I'm talking about the producing and whatever was very lackluster for me. They could have done so much more with these ladies. I mean, of all even the housewife ladies in South Africa, especially the black ones, they don't have the houses that these ladies have. They don't have the life, seemingly, opulent life. This could have been the realest of all the real housewife sort of esque shows that we have in South Africa. But they missed an opportunity to kind of create storylines that actually expand their world. They didn't do anything much with the nannies, but then they used the nannies to promote the show. So next season, I'm hoping that they're gonna produce the hell out of the show.
I hope Nuno Rai comes back. She's actually perfect. As much as she did a lot of things that I didn't agree with, or some people didn't agree with, she actually did a lot better than most of them on the show. Right. Her and Happy, they can definitely come back for a second season. I'm not sure about Mrs. Moss.
But you need Ratile as well. Ratile.
You think there's more to her though?
Yeah.
I don't know.
I think she's an instigator. So the Miss Manche, gorgeous girl. I love her to bits. I enjoy her.
Yeah.
But if she's not there, I think for me, she and Mrs. Mops are the same thing. Are the same character. You know what I mean?
Mrs. Mops is like the Surisha Naidu of the show.
Anyway, let's move on. And just like that, I've just lost my script. I think we talk about Unfollowed.
Unfollowed. Wow. What a hectic episode.
Yeah. So the second episode of Unfollowed featured the very interesting Tall as Mo. Hi, I've got my views. So let's start with you. What did you think of the episode?
Okay. Tall as Mo is great for TV. Mm-hmm. All those theatrics and whatever.
Yeah.
Look, I understand that you are hurt as a person and you do feel like a lot of people let you down and a lot of people actually contributed to your career just plunging like all over all those years basically.
Yes.
But I didn't like how he was expressing himself, like even shouting the camera crew or people were working. Yeah. It was not necessary. And the fact that he kept on blaming Twitter is like, okay, Twitter, what did Twitter do? It's like, Twitter, they didn't like the fact that me and my wife actually got together, blah, 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 blah. So they wanted to find something. Some things just didn't make sense for me. But I think I actually expected that episode to be the last episode. I was shocked that they actually released it way too early.
Yeah.
But I think that's the best episode so far.
Yeah, look, we still have our Jup Chup, we still have all these other people.
No, that one was the best. I didn't like the Fred Joe one.
See, but I liked it. Yeah. For me, that was a boxing match. That was like seeing two titans, going at each other. Yeah. Listen, I don't know why Mongezi keeps on doing these interviews because they do not do him any good.
They just ruin his image.
Do you understand? I understand that he might be sitting where he's sitting, thinking, I need to clear my name, I need to do whatever. I can understand that, but at the same time, he is terrible.
He's not ready emotionally.
At this, whether it's on a podcast, whether it's on TV, he's just terrible at this whole thing. So I don't know. He just looked like a madman. He just looked like an unhinged, crazy person.
I posted like a snippet of it, and I saw the comments, people saying he looks guilty. His behavior is just telling you a lot more, whatever. I actually agree with you on that one. He shouldn't have done that interview or interviews in general as yet.
Yeah, I think he just needs to cool off. I think right now, stop doing interviews.
Yeah.
Just do your shows, live your life, stop engaging in whatever, and just, because the more he does this, I feel like the more he's come back, even though he says that he doesn't need it, he's not looking to be part of the industry, he's retired, whatever, he still needs to work.
He's explosive.
I think it's making the road harder for him. I say this not to say that people don't believe that, he's innocent, right? I say this that even people who believe that he's innocent,
it's too hard to defend him.
Yeah, not even defend him. It's just so jarring and so like it's it's irritating.
Yeah,
you get what I'm saying? And I feel like it's gonna seem like, oh, people don't like me because of what I've been accused of. When the point is, people are turned off by you simply by how you behave, by your behavior right now. You're not necessarily the case. You get what I'm saying? And also, I understand the need to defend his name, the need to defend his brand. Believe you me, I understand that. There was a time when people used to say to me, Phil, why are you responding to haters on Twitter? Right? And I went, but you don't know that by the time I respond to that one person, there's 50 that I've ignored. And you don't know that because by the time I respond to that person, I'm fed up. So I do understand that need sometimes to kind of like be as like, oh, fuck this shit. I'm going to say my piece. Whatever. I get that. I understand it. But when you keep doing the same thing over and over again,
it's not looking good.
It's not looking good. You end up looking like
a madman.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying? But in terms of the interview, I think Thembi
did well.
A very good job.
Calm. I couldn't have. I
you didn't like. I don't think it was better than the Fat Joe one. You think?
Look, with Fat Joe, it was great.
Yeah.
Fat Joe, I just at some point it felt like he was way too arrogant, and he felt like he was bigger than Thembekile, and he could answer or say anything, whatever, because his word is like the rule or whatever.
Yeah.
I didn't like that.
Yeah, but that was Fat Joe. I love that when he was doing that, Thembekile stood his ground.
Yeah, yeah.
And a lot of people would not do that. The only problem that I had with the Fat Joe episode is that even though Thembi did kind of like, call him out on his arrogance. Oh my God, you think that because of you, Caster Semenya, a story became whatever, called him out on that. I felt like he could have done more of that to fact check him, in real time and say, because him saying that if had it not been for his segment on YFM, Shwashi would not exist. That's a bold-faced lie. Like gossip columnists have existed for many, 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 many years, outside of that, Anyway, let's move on. Cool.
It was a lot.
Stout?
Episode 7.
Yeah.
That was my favorite episode, by the way. The biggest.
Okay, no. Tell the people what Stout is, because I feel like because of the platform that it's on, a lot of people aren't familiar with it, even though we've spoken about it before.
Yeah, Stout is basically a series about this young man. It's discovered that his parents are dead, and he used to blame for all of this. He seems guilty. But so he's sent away to like a school that deals with or discipline kids like him.
Yeah.
So
a reform school, basically.
Yeah, basically a Stout school.
Yes.
Yeah. So he goes to that school. There's a girl and boys what is it, section?
Yeah.
So obviously, as he's going through that, he's also trying to remember as to what actually happened on the day or when my parents were murdered. Did I actually do it? What actually happened?
Right, cool. So it's on EVOT, obviously. That's why I wanted to explain to the people.
See, she's there, as I'd mentioned before. Yeah.
Yeah, the guy from Gomorrah.
Yeah.
Anyway, episode 7.
Episode 7. That was my favorite episode, by the
way.
The biggest reveal. Because I already knew what happened. I already suspected as to who did it. But I like how they put it into like a very detailed context of actually what happened and what led to it.
Don't give spoilers.
Yeah.
Because you know why I don't want you to give spoilers, right? Because I feel like, because remember you introduced me to the show and I liked it, right?
Yeah, not many people are in. Yeah.
And I feel like not a lot of people are
actually
watching it on EVOT and will most likely get to watch it on ETV when it goes to ETV, because all the EVOT shows end up on ETV already. And I actually want people to watch it because I think it's one of the best series that we have right now out this year. And I want people to watch. So, talk about the episode without giving too much away. Okay. Is that possible?
Yeah. Episode 7, just know that whoever you've been suspecting who actually, as to who might have killed the parents, just know that that's the person, definitely.
Okay.
The biggest shocker is the young boys. I don't know. I think this is a big reveal.
Okay, cool. No, let's not talk about it.
Mention
All right, cool. Let's talk about some good news. Shaka ILembe renewed for a second season. I mean, we all expected that. Yeah, I mean, hello. Everybody expected that. It was big news, but it was not
people
really
expected
a big
to happen like next week, season 2.
Which would be ridiculous. ridiculous because that is gonna seem like a telenovela. You know what I mean? I actually
True.
enjoy the fact that there's gonna be a break and there's gonna be
Hope it's
anticipation.
not like a year break.
It has to be a year. I would have, like, honestly, I would appreciate it if they took like a whole year, you know, because I feel like if it's back to back, if it's too soon, what's going to happen is that there's going to be a lot of comparison between the two seasons and also viewer fatigue.
People get tired easily. Yeah. South Africans
you get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I feel like what they did with their marketing, for instance, where they revealed a lot of information too early. There was a lot of, we had to wait, bro. We were anticipating for this show to come, you know, and when it did, everybody wanted to see this show that we've been talking about for almost a year that is coming. So I feel like with season 2, they should take their time. They should not rush things. Take their time and do it proper.
I hope they do marketing the same way as they did with season 1 or even much better.
Yeah.
I wish they could.
So now the sad part is we'll talk about it in depth on our next episode once we've seen the show. But the problem now is because of the success of Shaka ILembe, that 8 o'clock slot has now become very tricky because any show that's going to come onto that 8 o'clock show will be compared to Shaka ILembe. But now, but here's the thing though. Better in what way? Better in production value or better in story? Because if we're going to talk production value, that's an unfair comparison because Shaka ILembe has a huge budget compared to a 13 episode series by a small production company, which probably would cost about maybe 8 million or maybe 3 million.
But if you think about it, if you're gonna introduce like a very expensive and brilliant show, we expect the same standard with all the other shows to come. Because now you've introduced that, you've given us a taste of that during that time slot. So we expect something like that continuously. That's how you're gonna grab more people, or you're gonna have more people subscribing to DSTV.
Yeah.
So now, if you're gonna produce show, at least produce something closer to that quality or standard, or something way much better, because it makes so much sense if it's that way. Because downgrading us from Shaka to whatever series that's gonna come, hopefully it's good. I know it's gonna get a lot of criticism. It's like if you think about it, when the river ends, whichever show's gonna take over that time slot on One Magic, they have a lot to work on.
Yeah.
Because the standard has been set high. And
so you reckon the show that has to replace the river would have to be
much better?
Yeah.
Much better because you've introduced
multi-choice.
Yes, that's how it is.
Yeah.
If you introduce a new show, it has to be much more better or closer to that.
Yeah.
Because now you can't introduce us to something like that and then give us something that's way below the quality standard of that show. Because it doesn't make sense whatsoever.
Yeah, no. I hear you. But I just think that it's unfair because I feel sorry for this Kokota show.
Is Kokota a 30-minute show? Because from what I've heard, it might be a 30-minute series.
No, it's a 30-minute series, I think. But I think it's only 13 episodes.
And then if it's 30 minutes, what's gonna happen after 8:30?
Then they're gonna have another show. Oh, you mean I'd have Concha the LKK 1 or. Ooh, yeah,
it's a 1 hour.
Yeah, maybe it's probably a 1 hour. I don't know. I'm not sure.
It has to be because
it has to be. So I didn't even think of that. Okay, cool. Thanks for informing me about that. Well, I think it looks like our time is up. We're gonna wrap this episode. Thank you guys so much for watching. We apologize for not being around last week, but we are back and we're gonna give you more content as we go along. But yeah, thanks for watching, and let us know what you think about the shows that we talked about and anything else that you want us to know. Ciao.